What's going on? It's Fifth doing the post-game show report on the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, and Michigan football. I just thought I'd throw it all in here because everybody's been pretty pissed off on Twitter. So I want to cover all of them. I'm going to start with the Lions game. We lost to the Buffalo Bills 17-14 with a backup quarterback, Kyle Orton. I understand there's Jim Schwartz is over here. He used to be the ex-coach, so he's gonna know our personnel. A lot of our players are hurt. Our main threats is Calvin Johnson, so it's really easy to prepare for us. We don't have Calvin Johnson. The only person that we're throwing to is Golden Tate. Reggie Bush is irrelevant. I mean, if you don't get the running game going, you can't get the throwing game going. So it's pretty much just a tee up and pin your ears back and come after Matthew Stafford. I'm surprised he's not hurt yet. You know what I mean? I don't want to jinx that, but the defensive front, Detroit Lions, they're in a contract year. Most of the players on the defensive front, they're not coming back. So they're playing their asses off to get a great contract next year. And I don't know if that's a distraction, but it seems like they're doing fine on the football field. We were up 14-0, and we let this team come back, and they beat us with a field goal. A typical Detroit fashion. We lose at the end, and this is all stems from the front office. They need to fire the general manager. They should have fired him last year, and they didn't. And now it's coming back to haunt us because we don't have the right personnel. We don't have receivers. We just don't have no one to throw to. We don't have no secondary people. We don't have any great secondary step-up guys to play. We're not searching for the talent, and it's even worse in the baseball. I'm going to get to that in a second, but losing this game, I'm not frustrated anymore. I don't get upset anymore because, I expect the Lions, for some reason there's a confidence issue. Just in general for Detroit sports and Michigan sports, there's some kind of confidence issue. It's gone. These guys don't think they can win the big game. I don't know what it is. They just crack under pressure. And the worst part about this whole thing is that we bring in a kicker, and the guy misses 3 field goals. This problem, and this is why they should fire the general manager. They've had the same special teams coach for 6 years. You know how many games that it changed the momentum last year? I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, and the year before that, the special teams is so terrible on the Lions. It literally affects the course of the team. So we need to they need to fire everybody in special teams, whoever's running the show there. It's just terrible, and start over. I don't know what you got to do, but that's where you got to start. First they got to start with general manager. They got to get rid of the general manager. They got to get rid of the special teams coach. I said this in a video last year. And the year before that on this channel. If you go back, I was talking about the kicker in one of the games, or special teams. The special teams is killing us on this team. And the way I'm looking at it right now, I mean, the Lions, as an organization, has taken a turn for the worse. The fact that Calvin Johnson has been brought out there as a decoy and then gets hurt, we're not going to win our next game. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm looking at our team right now, and I think we're going to be like a 4-12 team because there's no one for Stafford to throw to. The defense is barely holding on onto games. This team is not going anywhere. I mean, what we need to do is, I hate to say it, but trade Matthew Stafford, get some picks out of him, get Tom Brady to come in there and build something around him until he's 41. Look what look what the guy in Denver is doing. I mean, Peyton Manning. I mean, if he could do it, I know that Tom Brady, bring him in, build around Tom Brady, and just blow up. Have him come back to Michigan. I'm sure, I mean, he's just looking for a new start. But anyways, that's my thing on Detroit Lions. I'm sure Peyton Manning is. People are going to say in the comments he's not coming back. He's not coming here. He'll probably go to Kansas City or something like that, or he should go to Chicago, to be honest with you, because Jay Cutler sucks on a great team. I mean, they should have won that game. That is just terrible. So Lions special teams killed us. There's no confidence on that team. There's no step up backup players that are any good. The personnel is terrible. It's just it's like being stuck in a bad dream that you can't get out of. And it's just a terrible situation. Like you don't want to spend your time or your money or your feelings on a team like that when you know the organization is just they don't care either. I mean, if they care, they would the owner would fire these people. They should have been fired 2 years ago. It's a nightmare. I mean, here's the thing. In Detroit sports, they get these great players. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Miggy Cabrera, Victor Martinez. And they get these great players, and they just oh, you can win it for us. And they don't build around them. And they just waste their God-given talent. I mean, can you imagine if Barry Sanders was on that Troy Aikman and Irving team back in the early 80s, 90s? Oh my God, he'd be like a super legend. And I don't know, maybe it's just where the stadium is at, and they don't gonna get revenue. But for God's sake, that they charge $250 a seat, and that place is always full. So I don't understand where do you think they're not generating income or something. Man, have a winning team. We support our teams up in the north better than anybody else. You know, we come out and crazy supporting them. So anyways, that's the Lions. I don't see nothing happening good unless we have Kelvin Johnson gets healed really quick and Matthew Stafford gets a running back from somewhere on a waiver. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just 4-12. That's what I see in the future. Now moving on to the Detroit Tigers. I mean, think about this. There is something seriously wrong here. You got Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and then everybody else. Every single utility player on the Tigers sucks. I mean, who the hell is Romine and Perez and Kelly and I mean Kelly's okay, but Jabba Chamberlain and Surya and Nathan. I mean, these guys are terrible. I mean, there's just so many bad players on the Tigers. It's the really good players, and then you can just you went out in the street and you got some guy and gave him a glove, and you're you put up Perez with two guys on to hit last. I mean, pitch hit. Fans, get somebody else. Pitch hit him up there. I don't care. Grab him. Grab a pitcher. It's better than Perez or Hernandez or whatever. They suck. And you know what? I mean, baseball is more grueling than football in the fact that 162 games. You play your ass off. Victor Martinez played his ass off this year. And guess what? They lay an egg. I mean, Justin Verlander messing with Kate Upton. You know what I mean? They don't. I mean, there's just a bad vibe in that locker room. You know, Brad Osmus. It's no big deal. He's out with Kate Upton. He's a grown man. He's a millionaire. Do what he wants to do. And then, the other players see that and they're like, no, we're not gonna get you base hits because if you don't give a shit about the team. And you're gonna just go out and then come in here and do whatever. They're not gonna care. They're not gonna support you with runs. And it just festers and it turns into a cancer. And we had a chance to sign Cruz. We had nobody in left field, and we could have signed Cruz and then moved him to center. And then we had Martinez, Cruz. And we didn't sign Cruz because Verlander had a little, cock block that deal. Unbelievable. It's just the Tigers. Brad Osmus should not be the coach or the manager. I mean, how do you put a rookie manager with veteran players? How do you do that? You're wasting their time and talent. Why are these utility no-name rookie players they can't put up with that shit? That's annoying. You cannot do that. You cannot do that to some guys who've earned their way in the major leagues and they're who they are. You have to put competent players who play really hard, that love their role, and they earn that. You have to put players next to them that understand the work ethic of a great player. You can't put a sloppy garbage player with a great player. That doesn't work, because then they don't come through in the clutch. And guess what? The great player looks at that sloppy player and goes, why are you here? Why am I on this team? Why do you waste our time? Waste the fans' time, waste the players' time, waste everybody's time. It's just, I mean, look, it's since 2006, our bullpen cannot close a screen door on a submarine. They can't do it. You got great pitchers. Now these great pitchers, Verlander, he's done. Scherzer's going somewhere else. You got rid of Fister, who's with the Nationals. What do you got left? Sanchez, he gets hurt every 10 games. There's nothing there. And who do you have left? You have Miggy. That's it. He's stuck with it. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, get me out of Detroit, please. I'll take a cut in my pay. Just send me somewhere where I want to win. It ain't even about the money. And then last but not least, Brady Hoke. Brady Hoke is a moron. This guy sits there and he never has a mic on. He never has a headset talking to the rest of the team that knows what's going on the field. You know that he is 2-4. No Michigan team in the history of Michigan started out 2-4 ever. You have 100,000 seat stadium. How are you? Like, what's going on this planet? Am I living in an alternate universe? Somebody please tell me. I just feel like somebody has a time machine and is going back and trolling me. I don't understand it. I don't understand how logic does not work in this world that I live in. Any other place, if you're in your job and you don't do a good job, you're fired the next week. Here they let these people linger for weeks and weeks and weeks. Months and years. It turns into years. Like, your performance, you're only good as your last touchdown. Why is he here? Brady Hoke is terrible. He's way above his head for his pay grade. He should not be there. He sounds like a bumbling, stupid Fred Flintstone idiot. He is not a man that you will look at and say, I want to follow that man. He is not a leader. You have 115 young men who go out there and bust their ass for you, and you sound like an idiot. Do you think they're going to follow you? No, they're not. Because you're a loser. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to follow somebody who's a loser. They're not going to do it. They may say they're going to do it because they're on scholarship and they're at Michigan. They're like, yeah, Brady Hoke's a great guy. But deep down inside, they're like, we're going to lose this game. Yep, we're going to lose. And you know what? Brady Hoke just acts like it's no big deal. He doesn't have a headset on. There's no urgency in what he's saying. Oh, we'll just try to win the next game. We're going to have to work harder. Like, man, get mad. Get mad. Like, I'm pissed off we lost. I'm going to have to go out there and make these guys run about 30 more laps. We need to get it in their heads. Or whatever. I don't know what they say these days. You got to get mad. I don't know what's going on in the state of Michigan. There's 100,000 seat stadium. You're losing recruitment. And it's just like, it's a trickle down situation, you know, like it's hard to root for any team in the state of Michigan. It really is. I mean, literally, I was watching the Michigan State game and they were up 27-0 or 27-3 on the Nebraska Cornhuskers and they just quit. And they quit against Oregon when they started losing. They quit when they were winning against Nebraska. Michigan State has a problem. They quit either way. So if you have a team that can rally against them or get them down in the beginning, they'll give up. Either way, they give up when they're winning and they give up when they're losing. There's not enough, I don't know what it is, like, I don't get it. I mean, maybe it's a different generation of athletes. I don't understand, I really don't get it. You know, it's a different, like when I used to watch sports, I mean, people would sell out to the death for a win. Now it's like, whatever, man. We're just trying to do it next year. You know, we're professionals. We're gonna have to talk about this and figure it out. You know, we're gonna have to like go back and look at the tape. And like what are you talking about? Aren't you mad? Anyways, it's terrible right now. Any team in Michigan is just terrible. There's no good sports teams. I mean, I feel really bad for you if you are rooting for any Michigan team. Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, Michigan Wolverines. I mean, Michigan State, they're a bowl team, but they're not no Final Four team. I mean, I think Connor Cook is going to be he's an NFL star quarterback. He's not ready yet. Give him another year, he will be. But other than that, I don't even, you know, and you look at that Michigan State stadium, it's garbage. Like, come on, man. Like, where's the pride? You guys bust your ass to have a great team, and then where's the money at to build a nice new stadium? I mean, make it what people want to come there. I mean, I look at the stadium, it's like two flat things, and that's it. And then the circle around the front. It's like, then you look at the stadiums down and like in the SEC, they're like big old screens and there's everything's going on. You look at the stadiums around here and you're like, what the hell, man? I don't know. I'm just getting disgusted right now. You know, and then there was no point in me staying in the state. But, you know, I'm a true fan of my team. You know, wherever I live, that's where I'm going to be a fan of. I mean, it'd be hard for me once I move to pick a different team, but right now I'm just disgusted. It seems like there's no urgency to make moves and show people you mean business in this state. Like, if your ass loses, Brady Hoke should have been fired that night, and he shouldn't have been allowed on the bus or train or whatever. They should have shot his ass out of a cannon. That's a disgrace, losing to Rutgers. No disrespect to Rutgers or the school or anybody that goes there. But when you lose to Rutgers, who just gets into the Big Ten, you should be fired out of a cannon. Detroit Lions, I mean, the owner should fire the president or the general manager. Show them you mean business. Let them players see that you mean business. Mike Ilitch, you should get upset. Fire somebody. Look, Brad Alsmith, he had top-notch players. He didn't do good. Get rid of them. Show them you mean business. Any other place that you guys own billion-dollar businesses, you will not give these guys the light of day. You know, the second chance. Their asses would be gone. Or somebody did you wrong from another corporation, vice versa, whatever. You know, they come around and they said, listen, our products didn't perform and your shareholder, your stocks go down. You think you would keep that company? Hell no! First day you fire them. You're like, you're gone. We're not doing business with you. Terrible. Anyways, that's the spectrum across Michigan sports. Lions lose 17-14. I don't see them winning next week. I don't see, and once they get into right after the bye, they're going to go into a tailspin because the other half looks really scary. And if Cutler wasn't such a bad quarterback, I would say the Bears would destroy them. I don't know how the Lions defeated the Packers the first time. I think it was because the Green Bay Packers were coming off a short week and they didn't know Caldwell's system yet. But you know, it looks like Jim Schwartz, the prior defensive coordinator, knows the personnel, and they're just gonna watch that film. They're done. Anyways, that's it. I don't know what else to say. Fantasy football wasn't that good this week. Everything wasn't just a disaster. Oh, it's just what? That's life. Anyways, until next time, it's your boy Fizz. Peace. I'm out.